Good morning. All right, well, I had to come out of my bed, straight through, open the front door, and come out on this porch so we can have a discussion this morning about evidently my 4 a.m. video post. So I'm pretty much used to some of you guys being really negative against my mom because you probably have some kind of infatuation with my dad. And I like to make jokes about mom because that's my mom, and I can joke with her about her, the weird things that my mom does. But on the other hand, I don't really joke too much about the weird things that my dad does because my mom will laugh it off and my dad would be mad. So none of us really say, we may joke dad a little bit about some certain thing, but we don't joke hard with dad because dad can't take it. But let me just say this. The reason mom could care less whether daddy kept that he did keep the desk, by the way. I mean, maybe I need to, when I start a video and I'm going to tell a story, I need to say, this is a history story. This is a story from the past. Because it's, the story that I told you is about the desk for dad, then the desk for Bennett. They were old stories. I was just telling you. So anyway, let me get back. The whole purpose of a desk a little smaller than that big one that he's got was because my dad, is adamant, I'm not even saying that, that's not coming out right this morning, on keeping the 2 big 8-foot long couches and the 2 chairs. That's what he wants in that living room of that tiny home. 2 big couches and 2 chairs. So my mom was saying, okay, well, because my mom wanted to just take 1 couch and the 2 chairs. And he both couches. So my mom was trying to figure around that and say, okay, well, if we're going to have 2 big chairs and 2 big couches, maybe we need to shrink down some of the other furniture. So the desk was one of those things. But y'all don't get that. Some of you. I have to make sure everybody knows I'm not talking to all of you because some of you get it. Some of you don't get it at all. That was the whole point of looking for a desk. But it doesn't matter because he's going to keep his desk. It was going to go in another room. Then it was coming back to the living room, but in a different area. And now he's already got something else in his mind that he wants to do. I'm not talking about it unless he's talked about it. But I think I have a little bit better of an idea. Now I'm going to roll it past Daniel and dad, but sort of a play on what he wants, but maybe better. But regardless of that, he's keeping his desk. So I don't know, all of you that freaked out on this 4 a.m. video thinking we're still talking about desks, we're not. It was just a story, a history story, a story of the past. Okay, let's talk about Levi. When we were at the hospital, and I made a comment to almost everybody that come in the room, this is not his normal. This is not him. You just don't understand him. He is funny. He's happy. He's happy-go-lucky. He's always smiling. He's very seldom angry unless, he gets angry about things. I said, this is not him. I said, every now and then I see him where he gets a cry face, and they said, no, he needs to get back to normal. We need to get him better and gone because he needs to be at home. He needs to be in his own surroundings. He needs to get his life back to normal. He needs to get back to doing his normal things. In that, I was also told that he needs to walk. He needs to exercise. Starting out slow and building up. So he's supposed to be walking 3 times a day for 5 minutes a time. 5 minutes, 3 times a day. I said he could do that in the front yard. I'd come out here with him. We'd make circles around the front yard. Or we could start going 2.5 minutes toward mom and dad's driveway and then turn around and come back. That would be a 5-minute walk. And every week he's supposed to up that time of walking. And so eventually up to a 30-minute walk a day. At a good pace, not one that makes him winded, but one that makes his lungs work. So I don't know. Evidently, according to you guys, that was a bad idea that we went to Home Depot yesterday. Not to mention, I mean, he didn't even go in. I went in and I went back and I got the man. Remember I told y'all, called and this, that, and the other. Got the guy to finally show up, told him what we needed. And then I went out back to the truck. And Mom went in and was with that man. Normally I don't check on Levi. Well, first off, we don't do, if we're going to go shopping, Levi goes in the store. But this was a pick a roll of linoleum and leave. So he didn't go in anyway. I come back to the truck. He said he wanted a Coke. So after I thought, well, that guy should have at least one roll done by now, which when I got back in, he'd already done one and was finishing the second one. But when I went back in, I went in the other end because that's where lumber carts are. One end, if you've never been to Home Depot before, if you're the kind that's never been into a home improvement, I don't know if Lowe's is that way. Can't really remember. But Home Depot, you go in one end and you got buggies, but you go in the other end and you got lumber carts. So I went into that end with the lumber cart. I went and got two 12-foot boards and come back around to where the linoleum was to leave it with Mom. And sure enough, he'd already finished one roll. I helped get the board in one and set it up there. Then he finished he was actually rolling it with the plastic. I put the other board in. We leaned it up there and I took Mom to checkout. She'd already she found some shine stuff for the floor to make it shiny. And then we went to checkout and I left her at checkout with a couple of people ahead of her and I went back to the truck. I got Levi a Coke and gave it to her and I said, he wants this Coke. He didn't even go in the store. So I'm just wondering, is he getting the germ that's going to cause him to relapse or something in the truck? Because he came home in the truck. He's got to go get x-rays tomorrow in the truck. He's got a doctor's appointment on Friday in the truck. So I'm wondering, is he getting those germs in the truck? I wonder if he's getting the germs in the house, where he's got two dogs that want to lay beside him on the couch. I mean, I make sure that the dog is not sitting in his lap when he's having his IV done, because I don't want a little dog dander flying across his stuff, or a little hair, whatever. Is he going to get a germ as he walks his 3 times a day out in this yard? When do we go back to normal? Should I call the doctor and ask him exactly what is normal? According to you guys, that taking him to Home Depot was causing a problem. I don't know. Anyway, I don't even know. Now I feel like I ought to just take down that video because I'm not going to listen to the naysayers. I tell a funny story about me and Mom. Me and Mom are together. I can say whatever I want to say in front of Mom about Mom. She knows I'm saying it out of love, but it's funny, or she knows I'm still saying it out of love, but I'm irritated with her. Do you think Mom went over there and laid down linoleum and put down trim all by herself? You know who did that? Was there a video made of that? Dad, Bennett, and Bree. I'm sure Mom was there. So, I kind of voiced a little bit. Leave her alone. Got a chicken on the porch and the dogs aren't happy about it. No, leave her alone. I did get a little aggravated about the trim because I think the linoleum, that is one job I don't have to do. I don't have to get down on my floor, on my butt and my knees and do linoleum. So 2 rooms got done. Praise God. I just wish they had, if they wanted to do trim, do all the trim except for the door area. Leave the door alone, that area by the door, whether it's one long piece, or remember what I did in Lex's room is I put one long piece and then there's this much room. I left it blank with nothing so I could put the trim up around the door, the casing or trim or whatever you want to call it. And then I come back in with that little piece. But it was Dad doing the measuring and the cutting, and Bree was just doing the screwing, or vice versa or something. But Dad gave her those numbers, and she cut and screwed down what he gave her. So, you know, that's on Dad too, that I have to take up some boards and fix that. And it's not that, like, Mom goes, well, I just don't see anything wrong with it. Why can't you just start at the top? Oh, I can, but that's not proper, and I wanted to do it proper. Just wanted it to be proper. Anyway, I have debated on taking down that video because of all the negatives. I thought, no, I'm not going to take it down. I'm just going to throw out another one and let y'all kind of reel yourselves in and think about what all you're saying when you go to my other video and say negative things. Because I know that there is an infatuation for Dad by some of you guys. I know it, just like there's an infatuation for Buddy that Steph has to deal with. And there's an infatuation for Daniel that Lou has to deal with. And there's an infatuation for Lester that Jamie has to deal with. So we've got all these good-looking men in this family that some of you guys are just infatuated with. So you're negative toward the spouse. It's ridiculous. And it's sad. But it is what it is. I guess I'm glad I don't have a man that I have to keep. And I'm thinking it's not just us, because I love that little girl and I can't think of what her name is. She has a channel. It's usually always her. He's not even in it that much. They do have an RV, so they travel a lot. They were recently looking at new RVs or different RVs. But she lives in a mobile home, double wide, and she's remodeled it completely. And you would never, I was just showing the video to Bree and Steph the other day, and I said, look at this video. And I'd say it was doing one of those little kind of things, like you walked around the house, just, there's like, maybe there was music. I don't think there was any talking. It was just moving through the house, seeing this house. And then it went into a basement. And I said, guys, that's a double wide. And I was like, no. And I said, yes, it is. Can't think of her name. But she said the other day, you know, having to deal with her husband was making a joke about somebody recognized him and this, that, and the other. And didn't say anything about her, but it was all about him. And so, I mean, I guess this is just what it is, and it's fine. I'm glad that you guys love the men in my family, but don't take things out on the women. Especially don't take things out on my mom, because I can kid and joke my mom in front of camera, but I can't kid and joke my dad because my dad doesn't like it. My dad likes to dish it out, but he don't like to take it. So it is what it is. Oh, all right. I'm going to go. I don't know if I'm going to leave that video up or not. I'm just going to play it by ear, but I'm going to throw this one out there. So some of you negative Nellies can come over to it and see it and then think, yeah, maybe you won't. Maybe you're such a negative person that you're just going to stick to your negativity. But maybe you'll say, yeah, I kind of probably wasn't thinking like it shouldn't have been. I probably don't realize that there's two sides to a story. All right. And just because I'm telling a story doesn't mean it's a now story. Maybe it's a history story. A story of the past. Maybe the past was only 3 months ago or 4 months ago, but it's still a story of the past. And you took it and ran like it was today, and it wasn't. All right. Love you guys. God bless y'all. Be sweet. Have happy hearts. Think about your words before you type them. All right. God bless.